Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to In the Real. Happy 2017. A little bit more of our fantastic band. What is his name now?
Well,
Patrick McLaughlin and Friends.
Well, right. This is from one of the best of the blues.
Right,
albums.
the best of his albums thing there. So this is one of Pat McLaughlin's friends. Yeah.
Yes.
How groovy is that?
Do we have her name?
I don't know her name, but
the album we do.
It's on the album.
Sweet. So no credit.
I'm
sorry.
Yes, and this is a very good song, by the way.
We'll put her name in there somewhere. We'll find it. It'll be in the listing somewhere. She gets credit for her singing, and we'll let the rest of it finish when we go to the outro. So we'll seal her up for now. Wonderful. As mentioned, we're in the real. It's 2017. It's been a happy new year. My name's Eric. If I didn't mention that, I might have mentioned it one other time. Jen and Cheryl, please.
This is Jen. Hi, because he said that already.
This is Cheryl.
We're going to start the new year off right. I got myself some wine this time around. One of my favorite little bottles that are going away soon.
Diminishing stock.
Yes, going out of style. No.
Limited stock.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's not bad. We've had this for over a year.
Yes, we have.
Oh, it's some tasty stuff. St. Clair Winery from New Mexico.
Oh,
fantastic stuff.
Not quite a year yet. It'd be a year in February, like the week of the 9th. That's when we went last year.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
I did get this later in the year.
Almost.
Well, maybe they won't last a year.
You can save, save that one last bottle for that week.
Right. Well, these we might have got there, yeah. Fun stuff. Well, my gosh, what are we going to talk about here? We've got the Happy New Year. We've got Happy Kwanzaa and Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, Happy Festivus, and whatever the hell else you might celebrate, I guess.
Festivus.
Festivus for the rest of us.
Yeah, there you go.
At work the other day, somebody had talked about the holiday thing or something like that, and I said, "Did you put a tree up?" And they're like, "No." And I'm like, "What'd you put up a pole?" And like, "A pole?" I was like, like a fence post. It's like, well, why? For Festivus. And he had no idea what I was talking about, the Seinfeld thing.
Nice.
So I explained it to him a little bit, and everybody else knew. But
Was he younger than you?
No.
So just somebody that's never watched Seinfeld, which surprises me at this point. But,
right.
Yeah.
But, funny stuff. Always enjoy that. I'm going to do some mic adjustment. I don't like where my mic's
I'm sure
sitting,
all of our listeners have watched Seinfeld at least once, one way through so far. I'm assuming that, and if you haven't, do it. Because it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I hope so.
Because when it was on, the first time it was on, I was younger and I thought it was stupid, and I hated George, absolutely hated George. And I know you guys have said the same, or maybe not you, Cheryl, but Eric, you've definitely said that you couldn't stand him at first. Mm-hmm. And now rewatching it, he is absolutely hysterical.
Right. The couldn't stand ya. Is that what it was?
Can't stand ya.
Can't stand ya. That was kind of funny. I didn't catch that the first time around, but yeah.
From his gym teacher.
Yeah, can't stand ya.
Can't stand ya. No, I didn't necessarily would say that I hated him. It just his character. What a dick half the time, and he was still funny, but after, as you mentioned, years by, you look at him, he's just hilarious. It's not somebody to hate. It's just he's such a comic relief in a unique way. He's just hilarious.
Well, and I think that appreciation might come later on in life because there are a lot of characters that maybe I didn't like when I was younger, but now having, being older and having a real appreciation for actually actors, it's like you look at somebody like Jason Alexander and you're like, wow, he's spectacular. You could hate him, you could love him. That's a hard thing to do. So maybe appreciation grows with age.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that. We're going to talk about...
So I guess we're bored with this conversation. All right, let's move on.
Not at all. I was just going to say we're going to talk a little bit about some Scientology stuff on our next podcast, and the person's show that we're going to bring up, she was in a show that I didn't care for the show in itself, but her character in there, I couldn't stand her character. And as an individual, I'd never liked her just because of that character. But now since we watched that show, it's a little bit different. And I've always found her to be attractive and liked her kind of, but that character just skewed it completely for me for the longest time. But that is at another podcast.
Yeah.
We're just rocking and rolling here, aren't we, today?
The longest time.
Well, the same thing with The Office that Jenny's just now getting into.
You're
She
right.
hated it when it was first around, and I loved it. My dad loved it.
Oh,
And now-
everybody loved it.
Right.
Everybody would be like, "Did you see The Office?" And I was like, "Fucking fuck you."
Right. No, I had better things to do with my life, But yeah, and then like Dwight Schrute, who is Rainn Wilson, couldn't stand him the first time I watched him. Like, oh my god, he's the most annoying character. But now that I've seen him in other things, and like realize, he's actually a very diverse actor.
There's actually some episodes that I'm finding that I go,
I love him.
I want more of Dwight
Right.
in this because he is hilarious.
Right. He's very
he's the
very
prick guy,
entertaining.
right?
He's the weirdo.
the weird nerd guy.
Yeah.
Very
Goes by the
book.
rules.
Yep.
Yep.
Has the mouth that's real straight lined.
Right. I just love him now. Yeah.
His character's an asshole, but he's just funny.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
strange stuff.
Yep.
So what are we going to talk about this time around?
We're going to give an
Updates.
update. Yep.
Update.
And I mean, really overall, I guess it would be the Avery case, but it's specifically the Dassey case because this recently came out, the
Sure.
news.
Yeah.
The Brendan Dassey, his, I guess what would you call it, his reversal of his execution of his trial or whatever you call it is?
It was a federal judge ordered Brendan Dassey to be released by prison by 8 p.m. on Friday, which happened in November. November 21st was the date. So they were talking about it. It was very new then. Released on a Friday by 8 p.m. and then the U.S. magistrate. It was ruled. Okay. The ruling by U.S. Magistrate William Duffin comes in one day after the Wisconsin Department of Justice filed a motion seeking to prevent Dassey's release from Columbia Correctional Institution in Portage. So they were trying to release him, and this appeal came through saying that Duffin on Monday ordered that Dassey be conditionally released while the state appeals his August decision to overturn the conviction. And there was a motion to stay. Hang on, I didn't read, obviously. You guys read more of this. Why aren't you chiming in?
I
Can you
read
correct
it
this?
about a month ago, but I was missing the words. But they had a reversal of his sentencing, and I think it was based on, if I remember correctly, the accusation of the coercion of his confession. So his confession was no longer valid, which was a very large point for his conviction.
Right.
And so without it, they didn't have the evidence to hold him accountable, and so he had to be released. And then, as you were speaking, they were able to have that overturn stayed until, I guess, what they're looking for now. And the stuff that I had printed out was way back, probably in October-ish or something like that. So even my dad is a little old. But,
yeah, so they made the order like he's going to get released, and then they blocked it, and then they tried to appeal it, and then they blocked it again.
Wow.
Is what it looks like from what I'm reading. So
yeah, something that I have here is conviction was tossed out in August. Judge cited significant doubts about the reliability of Dassey's confession, which had been the centerpiece of the prosecution. That being heavily scrutinized and
they're
definitely
being coerced, is what they were.
coerced,
yeah.
right? And that was definitely a very big thing in the Netflix Making a Murderer series that came to light. So I'm sure that shed some light on it for them, and things came out from that.
Yeah, which I think is still, very interesting. Everybody has seen this now. There's been a huge public outcry. Mm-hmm. Finally, it looks like there's some people willing to look at the case with an unbiased eye, but we still have some people in there really fighting hard, whether they're getting paid to or they're buddies with somebody or
Right.
whatever, saying nope, we can't do this.
Right, or they have something to hide behind it, or yeah, exactly, yeah.
Which I don't understand, because anybody that's watched it, I don't understand how you couldn't say that testimony wasn't coerced.
I'd say it's the people that could be possibly convicted if this gets overturned. You know, that's what they seem to be so powerful now to have these two innocent people, or well, presumed innocent people, you know, in jail for this long. They've got some power in that state. You know?
And that brings up a good point that we talked about earlier, which I'd forgotten about and now I'm remembering, is we talked about the resistance to this is probably because there's a lot of people that would get in trouble, not only the people in that county that, you know, brought this down upon these guys, but really the whole justice system in general to be looked at, and a lot of people probably don't want that.
Scared of it.
Yeah.
Really, I was reminded about that the same. We had mentioned that in, you know, our previous reviews of that. And I think as we put it was, we from the show, we're seeing what we would identify as some type of corruption going on, and that's at that level of where the attorneys are at and the local law enforcement and whatnot. But at some point where this is going up the chain, the denials for appeal and all that other fun stuff that, you know, just the things that they go through for the cases, getting denied. And so the question that we had posed was, how high is this going, and where's this level of accountability going to come into play? And I don't know what this what's that judge's name?
I didn't see the
Williams Duffin.
I don't know if that's the judge. That's the guy making the motion, isn't it? Or does it say judge?
Well, what I got listed here was in August, the decision Judge William Duffin characterized as misconduct.
Sorry, didn't mean to.
So I think he's the one that did the overturning. Now, I haven't heard this guy's name before in the reviews that we've done. So is this guy just coming in, kind of a new guy?
Well, the group that took his case on, does this kind of work. So they ran it up, I think, to Chicago is what happened. So they kind of like bypassed all of the ropes that they were trying to get through. They were able to get it up to a higher level. So yeah, it was seen by somebody that supposedly was unrelated to the case. So I actually give credit to this Duffin guy. It takes balls to do that, especially when you have a whole lot of government officials saying we don't want this done. So I'm glad that he at least made the attempt.
Scary thing too is that, you know, if it's something that is going to be going on the federal level, and I think that you got to wonder how these people are connected, and if it goes through and both of them get released, you know that the public is going to like demand a whole reconstruction of the criminal justice system, and so they're going to be afraid of that. Not saying the general public, but the politicians, because they don't want to fucking put the work in, they don't want to put the money in, they don't want to put the whole restructure in because they may lose their job. So it's kind of scary because it's like, well, how high does this go, and how many people are intertwined with each other?
Well, something that I read here, and one of the things that I printed off from People Crime online, Wisconsin's Attorney General Brad Schimmel, I think I'm saying your name right, he's the one who filed the appeal of Dassey's overturned conviction in September after saying he was going to consult with the Hellbox family on the next steps that maybe they want to take, as I'm assuming here.
I don't understand why they're consulting with the Hallbox at all. It's none of their business at this point. You know, I mean, it's their business because their daughter's dead, but really, why is a government official consulting with the family when it really comes down to a coerced confession? Isn't that about the law?
Right.
Him being the Attorney General, it's kind of probably his responsibility in convicting. Okay. So he's seeing it from that perspective. So it's probably got some responsibility to that. I'm guessing at this point, we're not lawyers here, but so in a statement of the people at the time, he had said, "We believe the magistrate judge's decision is wrong on the facts and wrong in the law." So he's holding that position that the law states that this is incorrect, even though a judge is saying, no, this is wrong. Schimmel said that stated judges previously properly concluded the confessions as voluntary. Now, as we reviewed it before, when we looked at what they showed us on TV. And I guess we should admit to the fact that, of course, we're seeing just what was presented to us in a TV show that can be argued to be leaning one way versus the other.
Right.
But if even that was a small part of his confessions, that's coercion regardless. Anything else around that, how can you judge that as being accurate or voluntary information? The stuff that we saw seemed very coerced and led. It was all seeded information, and then to see his own defense attorney working with the prosecuting attorney, getting another confession. How do you justify that being an appropriate legal conduct?
Right, because he was supposed to be defending him, and he's basically forcing him to make a deal.
Right,
and
a
the kid
confession
doesn't
of
understand.
something. Right, and so I don't understand. I guess to the statement that he's saying that it was properly concluded as voluntary information in the past. That's the way this guy is seeing it anyway.
If that's properly concluded or properly conducted or whatever, then I feel sorry for anyone who gets arrested on a minor thing and in halfway suspicious, situations, because that basically you're going to jail then.
Yeah.
Going to prison, not jail, prison. Mm-hmm. At this point, if this is how the justice system is going to handle things.
Right.
So I can't even fathom how this is appropriate conduct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate to bounce to any kind of conclusion or summary on anything, generally speaking, on the law, but by just this here and anything else that maybe it might come up, we all say that we're in this country, you're innocent until proven guilty, but I think the reality of it is you don't get arrested unless there's suspicion of you being guilty. And you have to prove that otherwise after that fact, because they just don't let you go.
Right.
I mean, they give you an opportunity if you can afford it. Mm-hmm. But
Guilty.
technically, you don't get arrested unless they have probable cause and enough justification to say you are guilty. So how is it you're presumed innocent at that point?
Right.
And I think this is really proving that fact, which, how can you really go about it any other way? I mean, if you're suspected of a crime, well, that makes you partially guilty right there.
Right.
And then the facts just need to come out, and
it is.
And hopefully our justice system provides that. And unfortunately, it takes time and it harms people. But
yeah, you are. Any criminal knows. I've been in the justice system. You are basically guilty until proven innocent.
Right.
It is exactly
The
reversed.
opposite.
The opposite of what they say. Well,
right. Which sounds good to say it the other way, but
right.
that's
true.
smoke and mirrors. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm in jail because I did something wrong, I can deny it all I want. I'm there for a reason.
Right.
I don't have to accept it, but I'm there for a reason.
Yeah.
And if I was just in the wrong place at the wrong time, then I can be as pissed as I want. But there's obviously a mistake being made, and hopefully then the justice system works for me. But if it doesn't, as we're suspecting this case that happened, then that really sucks. But
Yeah, because at this point, it's not even about the actual murder.
No.
Really, if you think about it, it's not even about that, which,
No.
it's tragic that she was. But honestly, for somebody like me who feels so strongly, and granted, I wasn't there, I could have misguided information. We could find out 10 years from now that I'm totally wrong. But I strongly feel like I'm not. Mm-hmm. So I have very strong feelings towards this. And I think the justice system owes us an answer. Mm-hmm. I really do, because I would be terrified if this is, how we're going to do business status quo from here on out. Mm-hmm. That's a terrifying thought. Mm-hmm. That's why I think this needs to be looked at further. And I know there's a lot of people online sitting there going, oh, they're making a murder, blah, blah, blah. And they're talking about how they're, slanting the stuff and everything. But really, when you actually do see what was done, there's some pretty glaring things there that you could even just take that one point and be like, that case should have been tossed out. Right. Because you're trying to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. Can we say that happened here? I personally can't. Right. And there were people that were there in the courtroom, including news people and regular Joe Schmoes, that say they can't say that was proven.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people, because of the whole community kind of, pressure, that say, oh yeah, I was there, I live here, blah, blah, fuck them. You have to take that community pressure into consideration too. It's like if everybody, all you hear is how evil these people are, you're going to eventually believe that. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it was conducted correctly, and I want them to retry it. Mm-hmm. That's my goal. or goal. Like I'm the one doing it. Sorry, I'm not Kathleen Zellner. Just me. This is Jen.
No, I think there's a lot of good points with that. I mean, if we took any other case, start to finish, and the only thing you could find that was mishandled was the coercion of one juror to seal up the deal, 100% voting of somebody being guilty, I could look at that and say, okay, that was a wrong act to do, but this person was guilty no matter what. There was nothing else in question here.
Right.
There was nothing else mishandled, no other conduct of any kind that didn't seem to be out of place. Yeah, that needs to be addressed because that's just unprofessional, but no big deal. But when you have the doubts that have been presented on so many levels and so many areas,
It's riddled.
you
with that.
You can't just look at his first attorney misrepresenting him and say, it was just one mistake on the whole case. No, that was one piece of several mistakes and errors and misconduct that happened that could have led in directions that should have never happened. And we're seeing what that is. And this kid allegedly is paying that price. Well, that how right is that?
Right.
I
Right.
just I don't know. It's and at the same time, as you mentioned it, we could be way off wrong. I mean, we talked about the Jacob Wetterling guy.
Yep.
Look at that guy. He was walking free forever
Yeah.
till he got picked up for something not related and decided,
Child porn.
I'll talk this down with this other bargaining chip. He had that in his pocket for how many years?
Yeah. 20-something years.
Guy was walking the streets, probably doing more of it.
Yeah.
27 years.
Wow.
Is how long. Yeah.
And you've done a lot of crime library stuff. Jeffrey Dahmer, charming guy, very intelligent. Got the police to walk a guy he was torturing back to his place. I mean,
Well, same thing with O.J. Simpson. It's like that case was also highly publicized, and there were people on both sides saying whatever. But there's something in my gut after watching and reading about it, which is what I've done with this, that I think O.J. did it. I just do.
no, I'm positive he did it. The way he did it might not have been what was explained.
Right.
It could have been some aspect of defense,
And there was
then it went too far.
circumstantial evidence too. They couldn't link certain things or whatever, but it just seemed the way that it played out. It wasn't like this. Just seems crazy,
Right,
Compared to like the logic isn't there.
Yeah, his was just all on. You can't really deduct one way or the other positively which way is right or wrong, so you can't decide. There's seems to be enough evidence to say, yeah, you were there and you obviously did something. What that was, we don't know.
Right.
But you had participation here of some kind, whether it was murdering somebody or even assaulting somebody. You were there, and yet his defense wasn't even there.
Well, and that's the thing is I can't say with his attorneys that they're as morally incorruptible as the guys that defended the Avery and Brendan cases. Those guys actually seem like their hearts are in it or whatever. I can't say that about OJ's lawyers, but I can tell you this: OJ had enough money to spend on lawyers that
Right.
would convince the court to make sure that
Otherwise.
they're paying attention to certain points. Look, the glove doesn't fit.
Right.
I mean, that charisma and that kind of making people kind of see your point of view, that's a skill set. That's a
It's
skill.
stupid too. It's like you could easily fatten your hand so that a glove doesn't fit. It's like all he has to do is just spread his fingers apart. So it
But
doesn't fit.
What I'm
No.
talking about is he had lawyers that could convince people.
Oh,
They
yeah.
were very engaging.
Robert
and very,
Kardashian throwing it out there.
Right, just charismatic enough. They were charismatic enough and determined enough because of the money,
Right.
to make sure that those points were stuck to.
And that's the
you
thing
know?
is that the Avery and the Dassey case, they don't have any money.
Right.
So they can't do that.
So OJ gets
it's
off
the reverse. Right.
because they can't prove beyond a reasonable doubt, and then these two go to prison, even
Because-
though they couldn't prove without a
Beyond
reasonable doubt.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
completely reversed. It's all
yeah.
about money.
You look about those two cases just broadly, and it's pretty apparent.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
just my personal opinion.
It's almost a purchase decision, isn't it?
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Can afford a really good storyteller, you get off.
Which then again puts the light shining right back on the justice system, which they don't want.
They don't
but
want to do.
You've created it for yourselves,
Yeah.
fuckawads. Now it's your mess to clean up.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's our job, literally job, that we're not getting paid for as the public to keep fighting it, to keep saying, no, we don't want to be treated like this. If I was in that situation, I wouldn't want to be treated like this.
No.
It's not fair.
Right.
It's not right. I want to find out who the real killer is.
Mm-hmm.
I think you make a very good point by saying that if I was in this position, I don't want to be treated like this. In saying that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe I know what you mean by that, is I don't want to be mistreated in the justice system on proving one way or the other. Not, I didn't win. That's not the situation.
No.
Which obviously, if you were a guilty party, you still want to win. But unfortunately, you committed a crime, you deserve to lose, end of story. But if we're talking about being treated appropriately in our justice system as anybody else would get treated, to prove one way or the other guilt or not, then, I mean, if everything here would have been on the up and up and kosher and they still found him guilty, you could just look at these jurors and say, what the hell was wrong with you?
Well, and honestly, they wouldn't have made a TV thing about it, would they?
Right. It'd have been nothing. It would have just been one of those people that were still wrongfully imprisoned and being argued to get out. And so many years later, like Stephen Avery did the first time around.
Right.
It wasn't all that publicized. And then all of a sudden, it was, because of the second round of stuff that came up. Nobody knew about Stephen Avery before that. It was one of those things that happened. Wrongfully, but it happened twice now,
Yeah.
as it would seem.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, I can't say that if I was listening in on, say, like the Albert Fish case, that I would be like, oh,
Who's Albert Fish?
So he's a serial killer. I'd have to look up the details of when and where, but he was kind of like Dahmer. I mean, he was a cannibal, and he would steal children and
So he liked the
eating
young,
parts of them.
healthier stuff. Huh?
Yeah, but he also did the weird stuff. Like a lot of people like used him for like the role for Psycho and everything because he had like skulls for bowls and stuff like that. Like he would keep parts
That's
of his
right.
victims and boil the flesh off, use part of it to eat, and fashion like skin for whatever. So they used him for a lot of
Kind of boiling a soup bone.
right. And so the guy was, I mean, obviously clinically insane.
Yeah.
But I can't say if I was sitting there, even knowing that this person was insane and feeling sorry that he was insane, that I would necessarily want him on the streets,
Right.
Right.
So there's a lot of things to consider, whether you're in the courtroom or not and how much you can actually skew information. I mean, we see how the news does it, but it's pretty fucking obvious, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you're watching the news, there's times I just look at Eric when we're in the nail shop because that's the only time I watch news. I'll just look at him and I'll be like, bullshit.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
I tell people that story all the time when the news ever comes up. I always say I never see the news unless it's at the nail shop, and because they have it on. And I looked intrigued. I have to look intrigued by the news to people seeing me watch it, and I am, but not for what they're passing along for a story.
Not captivating because you're like,
I'm
listening
looking
to the
at
news.
it. I'm looking at it, judging, analyzing what they're saying and why, and the person who's saying it to decide whether they're just reading it or if they're putting their feelings to it. And sometimes I think you can see it that way. It's more them than it is the story. And then the content of the story, when I start looking at them, why is this even a story?
Yep.
I don't understand. You are really making a big deal out of this when it's probably happening across the street right now to 7 other people. What the fuck? Why is this one important? I don't get it.
Because they need to make news in order to be special.
Right. I just...
to get people to listen to them. And I think it's funny. You guys remember this on the Scary Movie, right? I think it was the 4th or the 5th one. I can't remember. Probably the 4th one. I'm not sure. But Jeremy Pivens is the newscaster, right along with the Cindy character or whatever. And he's delivering news and he's talking about the aliens killing people. And you can just see it on his face. Like, he's so excited to tell the story and everything. He's not quite smiling, but he's just like, yeah, so people are dying everywhere. And it's very, very sad. It's very, very disturbing. You can just tell that he's just he doesn't feel it,
Right.
There's just nothing going on up there.
Right.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so, I mean, obviously it's a gross, exacerbation of what happens, but it's true. They make up news, and you can tell. You can tell when something's bullshit or when it's not.
Oh,
and the
absolutely.
only reason this made it into a documentary is because of the gross injustice of what it seemed. So I don't, all these people that are arguing their cases on Facebook about how wrong the directors were and how much they skewed it, all the people that are trying to defend their position in Manitowoc, it falls on me like falling on deaf ears.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care. The reason I care is because this was massively peppered with bullshit.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to investigate.
And at the same time, just to be fair on both sides, you can't deny the fact that, they were making a TV show. Yeah, they may probably produce more content to lean the way they wish things to be seen.
Oh, there's a
They're
season
making
2.
another one.
Season 2 has
season
been
2.
approved
Oh, sure.
and announced.
And I get
Yeah.
all that. But at the same time, when you want something to be funny, you put more funny content in it. When you want it to be serious, you cut back on the funny stuff. So when you want this to be seen in a light that these people were imprisoned and they're innocent, of course your content's going to lean that way. And it isn't that they didn't put in content that argued that, but you wouldn't do that so much. But at the same time, the content they produced was real stuff. So this real stuff contradicts a lot of other stuff that maybe, would support it the other way. But they weren't focused on facts being, contradicting. They were focused on the process being done poorly, which has a lot more to do with the outcome of a case if the facts can't be presented.
Correct? If they can't be proven.
Well, I guess collected is
right,
more of a better
right.
word. I mean, if you have, if I know it doesn't work this way, but if you have a numbers game, 10 facts to 7, it's a close game. But if you've got 2 facts for guilty and 15 for not guilty, well, it's pretty tough to win that. And again, I know it doesn't work that way, but that's kind of what they were looking at. They had a few pieces of evidence that they could have done anything with, saying this person was on your property. Yeah, that's about all you could say. And you found this car here. But everything else doesn't just go together. Beyond that, what are you prosecuting against? And then that's where all that fabricated stuff come up that we see in a fabricated way then and question how and why and what's going on. Because there were so many other things saying, I wasn't here, I wasn't there, where's this information? I mean, all those questions came to light. If it was the other way around, where's her body? I mean, that would have put a little bit more guilt on them.
Right.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the situation. They found fragments. Where did they come from? Where's the rest? How would you not find that?
And the circumstantial supposed fire that burned most of them, which isn't humanly possible.
Yeah, and I pointed out before, if you've never watched
Cremation.
a cremation,
Yeah.
go to YouTube, you'll find one. You will see how much heat and how long it takes to turn a body into glowing red hot skeleton, and then it's still not all gone. You'd still find so much bone in there, it'd be unbelievable.
I have a suggestion and a point to make. So my suggestion is for people who aren't as gory as Eric, might not want to watch that shit on YouTube like I would not want to.
You don't see the body burning.
Look the facts up on Google. Google it and see how hot it needs to be.
It's in a box, and the next time you see it, it's a glowing red hot skeleton that they're breaking apart. You don't see the body burning or anything, but you see the furnace that it's put in there, and they show you the time that it's in that furnace. That sucker is hot. If I remember the numbers right, I think it's like a couple thousand degrees for an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Well, it's basically a kiln.
Pretty much.
And no
that's
fire.
A long
You can't.
time.
I mean, you can try to blow glass as much as you want, or try to get glass as much as you want. With the hottest fire that you can create, it's still not going to be kiln level, and that's where it is. So my other point was, I just wanted to break it down in layman's terms, just because this hit me and I don't know why, and I probably shouldn't be saying it, but it's funny. So basically, you know how like Swiss cheese is, right? It has all those holes and everything,
Right.
And then there's like baby Swiss that has like even more holes and whatever, and then there's Lorraine cheese, which has the most holes out of all cheese. This case is fucking Lorraine cheese. And they need to investigate each one of those little holes.
Giant hole.
Why is there a hole in this cheese? Because you cut it apart. If you left it in one piece, there wouldn't be any holes in it.
Right.
Well, at least we couldn't see the holes.
So it's like, at least, button it up a little bit. Let's investigate some of these holes, some of these questions that came up that anybody would have if they were sitting in the courtroom, and go, well, yeah, I was thinking that too. They're, voicing their opinions. Some people aren't because they're afraid. Let's figure it out.
I don't, not to say this would be anything legitimate to utilize in the legal sense, but just as a case study, it would be very intriguing to take the entire transcript of the court cases for Stephen Avery and Brendan Dassey in front of 50 people that are broken down into 12-person teams,
and see what they think, not being part of
and
that.
let them present exactly like it was, hear it how it was, the evidence presented as it was, the information as it is, and go and deliberate, see what you come up with. Just to see, because what do you got, 50 people, that's 4 teams of 12. Okay, so you got 4 chances there. See what it comes up with.
Yeah.
I'm willing to bet it's a 3-to-1 way. If it's not 100% not guilty.
It ends up with more questions than answers.
Yeah. Because of course, again, we've only seen what we've seen, but how else, with all the other data that comes into play, I can't see any evidence produced by the prosecuting side that would push my questions out of the way. It'd have to be pretty blunt evidence, serious evidence, and obvious stuff. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just whistling pixie dust.
Pixie ducks.
Ducks.
Yep. Maybe I'm just whistling pixie ducks. Out of my ass here is what he says. He's 16 years old. That's our son.
Yes. You have to explain where this is coming from.
Yeah. Well, I found it in my drawer the other day. I was cleaning out my drawers, which probably haven't had done. Now, not like closed drawers, but,
yeah,
nice,
we're drinking on
nice,
air.
Cheryl. Nice.
Spill over
It was,
my new
it was an
carpet.
old desk that I had, and I happened to find a few things that I stuck in a folder from the kids. And there was a handwritten note from me that said, quote, I don't know if I'm just whistling pixie ducks out of my ass here. And then underneath it, Josh, age 16. So, like, that's right. I remember now that he said that. I laughed so hard. I was like, it's ducks. Pixie ducks. Dust.
Dust.
Now I'm saying it wrong.
Yeah. Pixie duck.
Well, a couple more little blurbs here from this thing that I printed off from People Crimes Online, and anybody can look that up. It's I won't read off the entire address. I'll probably put it
It's super
on the
long.
website. Yeah, this shit's really long, but it is from People Crime. I'm sure there's links on there for tons of stuff. But let's see. In his August decision, Judge William Duffin characterized the misconduct of Dassey's first attorney as indefensible.
Lem.
And he said that authorities had inappropriately promised then a 16-year-old leniency in exchange for his confession.
That was shown on tape.
Correct. Investigators repeatedly claimed to already know what happened when Halbach went missing, and assured Dassey he had nothing to worry about. And that's what Duffin wrote.
Again, that was all presented, so it's actual real video footage that
so
they
that's-
showed.
that's real
Those are
stuff.
all accurate facts.
And I like what he put in here, that he characterized the misconduct of his first attorney as indefensible. You can't defend what you did there as appropriate for your client, which is, from my understanding, as an attorney, you take an oath for obligation to defend your client. I don't see where he was defending his client. This guy should be brought up on charges
For ethics.
for breaking his ethics. And from last I understand, he's not. I don't understand how that is.
They probably feel bad for him because he has cancer and he's dying, but whatever.
No, speed it up.
Yeah. I have no sympathy for him whatsoever. I feel less sympathy for him than I do, like, people that I actually don't know, which is, like in the grocery store when I yelled at that lady. I might actually care more about her than
You
I
probably
would this
killed
guy.
her later on that day.
Might have. Don't care.
She went home. Some lady yelled at me for being stupid.
Yep. Well, if you're stupid, I'm going to call it out.
Nice.
Call it like it is.
Yeah.
I'm a cunt. So just to wrap it up, can we? Oh, are you done with your? I'm sorry, you might not be done.
One
with your-
last little blurb
Okay.
that is actually the last line in here. His quote here is these repeated false promises, when considered in conjunction with all relevant factors, most especially Dassey's age, intellectual defects, and the absence of a supportive adult, rendered Dassey's confession involuntary under the 5th and 14th Amendments.
Yep.
So he's quoting out of our Constitution by what he witnessed in this confession as being wrong.
Right.
So that means he didn't confess to anything.
Yeah, and if you think about it, there's how many lawyers that have actually seen this case,
Seen it, defended
we were
this
talking about-
information as this judge saw it. And yet the judge that tried the case let it go forward.
Well, not just the judge, they were able to get a hold of the whole transcript, because you were talking about earlier how you'd love to get a hold of the whole transcript and like read every piece by piece, so you have the whole thing, whole story right there, no leaning one way or the other. These lawyers have that information, and they're finding that in being bold enough to make a statement like that. I think that does say something.
Or the judge. This is the judge.
Oh, sorry, the judge. You're
Yeah.
right. Yep.
The hell is that?
That's him climbing the wall.
What in the hell?
Yes, sorry, that noise was our cat just randomly
Climbing the wall.
climbing the wall because he's bored.
Right.
And that was just, again, from peoplecrime.com. I got some information from there. That was just talking about the case. I didn't read the whole thing there, but and I have stuff from CNN and whatnot. I don't know if you want to go through any of this.
I did a really shitty job. All the websites that I was looking at earlier when I was stumbling through before you guys joined in, I didn't even mention. So I can't even remember where I went. So shut it down. Shut her down.
Shut it down.
So the only thing I was interested in, I don't know if you guys are interested in hashing any more of this out, but I wanted to follow up just with the Stephen Avery case and just give
Yeah.
a quick update, because there's really not much
I know.
about
Well,
what.
Disappointing. It's like, I know that, Brendan Dassey is like the hot topic right now, but I really have, my heart goes out to Stephen Avery because he doesn't fucking deserve it.
I think so too, and I think we waited so long to do this because we were kind of hoping that, okay, it went, the last information about this overturn information stuff. Sorry, I just said information twice in the same sentence, which is bad.
You're cut off.
Yeah.
The last information we got on this was in November. I think the last news report I saw was on the 21st.
Yeah.
Most of it was around like the 14th, the 17th. But the 21st was the last thing I heard. I was hoping to hear more.
Yeah.
And so we kind of delayed. So I got that. But in the meantime, we can report on what's going on with Avery because we got that.
Okay.
Yeah, and at the time I printed this information off, I think it was about the same time, mid-November, roughly, before the holidays really came in full swing and fucked everything up.
Yeah, like it always does. No,
Yeah,
just kidding.
From that point to now, up to that point, there was nothing on the Avery thing, just on the impact this might have on that, because they used this to assist the conviction on Stephen Avery. And if this is thrown out as being not accurate,
Then his has to be thrown
his
out.
is going to also get
yeah.
looked at under the microscope. Beyond that, there was no other data at that time that I printed this off, so I didn't have anything. So this is the Jenny show on what you got. I have
Yes.
no
Jenny
information other than
Okay, so
smart ass comments.
basically, in the meantime of all this happening, it wasn't necessarily between when we heard about Brendan and whatever, but it's from the last time that we did a report. So Kathleen requested the evidence be retested for the blood work, and it's been approved. So they are going to retest the blood
For Stephen.
for Stephen.
Really?
Yep,
Yeah.
they're going to try to do the
What
test.
are they going to test for?
They didn't say that specifically. They just said that a motion has been made that has been accepted, so they're going to retest it. So.
Fortunately, that was back in August. So
yeah, right.
What? Anytime
Well,
now?
that's the wheels of justice run so small,
Oh,
slowly. That's why
You don't want to rush that test.
right. No,
Yeah,
take
I
your time.
suppose. I
Take your
suppose.
time.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So that's
pretty
exciting. Yeah.
And that's about it. I had.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. I think this is probably kind of a shitty update on our part, but
Yep,
there's
pretty
not.
much.
Well, and I'm not saying it that way because we obviously we do a crappy job just because we're lowbrow here, but
Right.
But we didn't have that much information. I mean,
there's just not enough data to find. There's nothing
Yeah.
really to locate.
No.
this is what's been out
It's
there.
hard.
And I always forget the the attorney's name for Stephen and for Brendan, but I know for sure Stephen's attorney, she's got like a website and updates to his case on there all the time and on her Twitter account.
It's Kathleen Zellner.
Kathleen Zellner. So look her up. I'm sure I'll get the
Brendan
link in there
has
too.
2 attorneys. One is a male, one is a female, but I didn't get their names.
Yeah,
so.
and I haven't been able to find their names either. I'm sure it's in the shit that I printed.
I saw it in the report that I read earlier, but skipped over it and didn't get the website. So sorry.
Nice.
But
people
I
have-
know what's her name?
Kathleen Zellner.
Yeah, she again on her website she has specifically a page dedicated to Stephen Avery that you can go for updates.
Oh.
And I don't
And
know if
she
she has
posts on
donation
Twitter.
stuff there. She posts
Yep.
on Twitter all the time. So you can get the updates from there much more up to speed than what we have currently here today. But
Oh yeah, don't be coming to us for news. This is purely for entertainment.
Right.
yeah, although our news is probably a little bit more accurate than the local news.
True.
but-
Maybe a little more interesting,
Right.
What the fuck is they doing?
Yeah. But if anybody else has any news, they can definitely, please feel free to post.
Oh, hell yeah.
We
Yeah, if
are-
anybody
Yeah, give
love
us
to
your
hear it.
opinion on it.
anybody close to the situation that has
Yeah.
an unbiased opinion without being a dick.
Anybody
go
in
ahead.
the state of Wisconsin, you guys
Yep.
know what's going on more than us.
Like,
Let us
I know we're enemies, being just a state over, but seriously,
Right.
we can be
Mutual.
what is that?
Allies.
Consolidated,
Yeah.
allies in this situation. Go Vikings! No,
Jenny, now you just ruined it for us.
well, I ruined it for myself too, considering what a shitty season we had.
Oh no,
Yeah.
go Vikings for 2018. See, it's no big deal.
We'll see. I'm losing hope altogether.
Well, we fucking built a stadium.
And we'll get into that in a minute, but
Yeah.
I just want to say thanks and I appreciate you pointing that out. I like to say it because it's fun to say it. Don't be dicks,
Yeah.
because we're not promoting trolls and shit on our stuff. We're being dicks enough.
Yeah.
Speaking to
for
one
all of
another,
us.
so
Yeah.
you don't need to be a dick in a comment section. If
Right.
you got a good point, make it constructive, and we'll be interested in that.
Yeah, we don't need the Facebook post where somebody has an opinion and then somebody else posts after that and they're like, "You're a fucking idiot." That doesn't do any good. If you have some opposing thought, cool, put
Yes.
it there. Blah, blah, blah. We don't need the name calling bullshit. If I
Yeah.
see that, whether you're for, whether you agree with me or not, if I see that, I'll remove it. I will, because that does no good.
That's right.
That just inflames situations and makes people more angry, and that literally does nothing for anyone.
And I'd like to say, if you wouldn't say that to their face, don't write it.
Right.
Yeah.
But everybody's a fucking tough guy, and I'd say
Right.
it to their face. So yeah, well, come on over.
Right.
Let's see how that goes.
All right, keyboard jockey.
Right.
Come here.
Tough on a keyboard, aren't you?
Right.
Put you
So-
on a real horse.
We're gonna. Did you have anything else,
No.
Cheryl?
No.
No. We're gonna end this with some entertainment.
Okay, what do we have here?
I'll try not to.
Since Jen brought up the fantastic Vikings season, we're going to make some picks for the Super Bowl and the playoffs.
Horrible at this.
always lose on these.
It's all right. We can lose.
I'm horrible at this because I only pay attention to the Vikings.
Right.
So do I.
No, you pay attention to more than
You
that.
do.
a
You
little
watch
bit.
other games.
Yeah.
Remember
I do.
Sundays when it's on for fucking 9 hours?
Yeah, that's a good point. I already got in my mind how things are going to kind of go, and it's probably. And when I looked at the stats the other day to help a retiring lady out to pick the people she was going to pick, my decisions way the fuck off. By the stats on the internet and the pros, I guess. Shit, I'm not going to get anywhere for nothing. What are you looking for?
Pen.
Well, there's one over there on the
I have
shelf.
to take my headphones off for that. No, okay. Thanks, Cheryl.
But yeah, so we're gonna just make some choices and kind of go by that. And
Okay, talk it out though, because we're writing
absolutely.
and that sounds really stupid on the air.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is what we're gonna do. We've got our NFL playoff 2016-2017 brackets,
And I'm going to pick totally like a girl.
and
Just
we've
let you know.
got
I know.
AFC, NFC, and I think we'll all start on the AFC side. Now, if you
AFC,
gals-
scratch them out. X. Don't care. No, I'm just kidding.
if you want to do some research on the tablet, that's fine.
Yeah.
But
Are you cheating? What
Yep.
are you doing?
well, she's
I
getting
don't
an
know
opinion.
shit.
Yeah, she's looking up to see who's going to win.
Predictions. Yeah, there we go.
You're going to take a lot longer filling this shit out than I am.
So we'll start at the bottom of the AFC, which is on the left, and that's the 3 and 6 seed Pittsburgh and Miami.
I'm sorry, what did you say? 3 and 6 seed?
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means the 3rd seed and the 6th seed.
Seed?
Yeah. If you were to label them 1 through 6, seed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
What the fuck is that?
New
What is a
England-
seed?
Yeah, New England's the number 1 seed. They had the absolute best record in the AFC
What?
for the playoff.
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
I know.
Okay.
I have an issue with the seed. Like fucking here. Let's just throw some other crazy lingo in for sports. That
Right.
whatever. Fucking idiots. All right, seed. We're gonna
So-
go with the 3 and 6 seed.
So Pittsburgh and Miami. This is what my pick is here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take Miami because I hate Pittsburgh.
I'm going
Okay.
the opposite with you.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah, right down there. Remember
Down
that
here
seed?
first,
The
okay.
seed. Seed on the net.
I'm going to go with Miami because I like their pants.
You
I
their
hate
pants.
Miami.
There's being a chick. Hey, write your name
Exactly.
on there somewhere so we know whose is
Oh,
whose.
okay.
Mine's in highlighting, so you can't really see it.
There was some
What the
fucker
fuck
on
are you
Miami.
doing?
That's all I have is a highlighter.
All right, there was some fucker on Miami that I couldn't stand. So, and I hate their outfits, even though Cheryl says she likes them. I like Pittsburgh better, so I'm gonna go with Pittsburgh based on that, and that's pretty much what I'm basing most of my shit on.
Nice.
And by the way, the Miami person I hated was not Dan Marino. Just letting you know.
Okay.
Okay, so
Dan Marino.
The
laces
were in. You're right.
laces
were in. So I'm gonna. Do I just circle? What do we do?
You just write in the next
right in
bracket.
there.
Because that's your pick to play the next team.
Next team.
That's I would have not known how to spell Pittsburgh
What?
very well. I probably would have screwed it up
Okay.
if I hadn't looked at it. Interesting.
That's what Google's for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and you picked it based on their pants, you said?
Yes, because I love their teal colors.
Their teal colors.
Going as a girl. Yep. Totally girl.
And you like the dolphin?
Yeah, I like the dolphins. The dolphins are nice.
I do like the dolphin. I
See,
do, but I don't like
Going-
the team.
Going for the dolphin, dude.
Yep, doing it totally as a
I
fucking
can't remember.
bitch.
It was some.
Chick bitch.
I can't remember. He was like some hot shot, and I didn't like him.
So we're
Some
we're
big
gonna
deal.
go up now to the 4th and 5th seed, which is Houston and Oakland.
Okay.
And we'll finish this bracket off to get to the divisional championship game.
So it's
Houston.
Oakland Raiders and Houston
Texans.
Texans.
I'm going with the
Okay.
Houston because I don't like Oakland.
I'm gonna go with Oakland because this is the first time they've ever won a damn thing, and they seem like a bit of a sleeper.
Why do they need how many teams that they have in fucking California anyway?
They
Yeah.
have the money in the state to support it.
And Texas too. They have about 7 teams.
Seven.
Houston, fucking.
I got two there.
Okay. Too
But
many
doesn't
already.
California have like 3?
Florida's got 3.
Florida has
California's
3.
got
For fuck's
3
sake.
now.
3 now.
Or
Yeah.
do they have 3? San Diego, Oakland,
San Francisco.
San Francisco,
Jesus.
and LA. They have 4 now.
Fucking
So-
Because the Rams
ridiculous.
left.
Fuck California.
Right.
Well, I'm going to go with Oakland.
I'll cheer for the Houston Texans because they're new, right? Aren't they kind
No,
of?
well, they're a newer team, but
Yeah. Let's give them a shot.
I like Texas.
Texas.
Nice.
Told you, I'm picking this like a
reason to
girl.
And going for Houston. Oh wait, did we do that one yet or no?
Well, Eric's going to call out which seed we're focusing on.
That's right. So then we're going to go back down to what would be whatever 2 seed and whoever you picked
Okay.
for the Pittsburgh-Miami game. I have Kansas City and Miami. I am going to take Kansas City because I know our former little buddy Travis Anderson is just jerking himself off hourly because the Kansas City Chiefs are in the playoffs.
I am picking them for the exact same
Let's
reason.
do it. I'm
Kansas
down.
City. Kansas City Chiefs with the most racist name so far,
Yeah.
right? Didn't they get rid of the Tomahawks? Or no, that's the
The
Tomahawk
Redskins?
the Redskins, yeah.
They're not done yet.
They're not done yet either.
No?
They still have that. Okay, it was the
Wow.
Tomahawk chop that they had a
Was
problem.
that a
yeah.
college thing?
That
I
was a
think?
baseball thing.
No, I thought that was for the Chiefs.
Oh
wasn't
no,
it?
I think that was a
Oh, it was
a college.
baseball. You're right. It was baseball.
Was it
Cheryl's right. It's
baseball?
Yeah,
baseball.
because it was they used to do that at the baseball
Tomahawk
games.
chop is what they
Tomahawk chop.
called.
Don't remember what it was for, but
I
it
thought
was,
that
remember
was in a
which team.
college game or something.
No, that was national. That's I
Maybe
think.
that's the Cleveland Indians.
could be.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think
Yeah.
you're right. Cleveland
Did
Indians.
they
This
still
year-
have that team?
Oh yeah, they went to the
Supreme?
the whatever the World Series this year.
Oh, well, I thought you meant Supreme,
Supreme.
Court is
The
what I was
Supreme-
thinking.
Jenny's still in court. Fucking.
I'm in court mode. I'm like, they went to the Supreme Court to okay
There's
that?
the World Series in baseball, the Stanley Cup in hockey, the Super Bowl in football, and soccer doesn't have shit.
Right.
I thought
they're
there was
stupid.
I thought there was a lawsuit about that. It was why I was like, the Supreme Court? What? They did?
So now we'll go up to the number 1 seed and your pick for the top bracket, which mine is New England and Oakland, and my Patriots are going
Why?
Oh, good God, not the Patriots. I'm picking Houston.
Yeah, because they won a lot. Didn't they win the last couple of years?
I want the
Fuck
Patriots
them.
to all get like
They-
stomach poisoning for like the next 3 seasons.
They got beat last year.
Get them out.
Well,
They didn't go to the Super Bowl. They were in the playoffs. They go to the playoffs a lot.
but have they won?
Oh, they've won a few Super Bowls.
Well, then fuck them. I'm not choosing them.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Right.
You've had more than one.
You've had 15. You're fine. Give
Wait
it up.
a minute. Now,
Wait.
who's the quarterback of the Patriots again?
Is
Tom Brady.
Don't like him.
nice.
He's a phenomenal quarterback.
He's a piece of shit.
Nice.
So we'll finish off the AFC because now we're down to the what is
Final.
that? The final game for the Super Bowl contender. And my pick is New England. They're going to the Super Bowl again.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch tiger by his toe. Just
I'm going to
kidding.
help Travis out. I'm going to say Kansas City goes.
Yeah,
I want to
let's-
help Travis.
Yeah.
Even though we don't talk to Travis anymore, if Travis happens to just catch wind of this for some crazy reason, still
Stone
love you,
Hands
buddy.
Anderson.
Stone Hands Anderson.
I love Travis. Hope his brother's doing well.
I hope so too. Andy? Yeah.
Is that his name, Andy?
Andy. Mm-hmm, it's twin. Twin name it Andy.
Sure, it's Andy. It sounds weird.
I know it's Andy because that's my brother's name, and that's how I remember.
Andy Anderson.
Andy Anderson. His parents, seriously. Travis, your parents, seriously.
We used to call our brother Andy Anderson.
We did
because
because we were pretending that he was
he was
adopted.
adopted, so we would call him Andy Anderson.
And I would say Cheryl Anderson.
yeah, and I'm like, no, it's Jenny Anderson. She was like, no, you both are adopted, so your last names are Anderson.
so mean.
And we would cry,
Yes, they would.
but I would laugh when we called Andy
See?
Anderson.
Cunt
Yeah,
from birth.
right.
Okay, so
Next one. Back to it.
NFC. We'll start at the bottom with Seattle and Detroit.
This is funner than I thought. I'm doing jazzed.
Detroit.
Why am I getting jazzed? It's just
jazz.
getting
Right.
jazzed.
So Cheryl went with Detroit.
Yep.
Any rhyme or reason?
Dude.
Michigan's cool.
Have you been watching
Nope.
Detroit for the past? Okay, I'm
Nope.
going with Seattle.
Going with Detroit because I've been there.
I know-
we drove through it.
I
There
know
we go.
Detroit's having a good year, and I know Grandpa's totally hyped up on Detroit, but the Lions are pretty much like we do.
Are they
They don't
really?
make it. They don't fucking make it to the Super
Oh.
Bowl.
I'll tell you.
Well,
I'm
regretting my
going-
decision.
I'm going Detroit because Stafford has always been a fantastic quarterback, and their defense this year is playing a top game. And they have had, unless it's changed, eight or nine games this year. Stafford has won in the last minute of the game. Drove down, no timeouts, scored and won the game in the last minute of the game. This guy's pulling shit out of his ass. That's just unbelievable. So I'm really rooting for them to get somewhere. In Seattle, they've been hit and miss all year, so I don't have
Yeah.
confidence in them.
So, totally girl question: is Stafford the quarterback?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted to know.
See,
Like,
we should totally have my buddy Ryan here, the guy. For everybody, just quick, detour off the topic. Is today was the last day of my job. One of my
Loser.
I know.
Nice.
Well, I have.
She's not telling everybody she was fired
have
for alcoholism.
Right. That's what. Yeah.
Drinking on the job.
I got a new job.
yeah.
I
well,
left-
remains to be seen.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just wait.
Begging on the exit ramps is not a job, okay? Let's just be clear.
So anyway, Ryan, one of my best buddies at work, has been for years, one of my guy friends. He is a huge sports fan. Every sports, not just football, everything. He does like the fantasy football. Like they're so serious that they will like plan like a guys' weekend where all these guys drive from different locations of the globe and meet up in like Chicago and do fantasy football together. It would have been very interesting to have him here to talk to Eric, which they would totally be guy talking, and then have us interject with our girl things.
Yeah.
Because you should see his face when I interrupt with a dumb question.
Lions eat seagulls.
Have you seen that fast blink that people do where they're just gonna like blink, blink, blink?
Right.
Yeah, there's sometimes
you-
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm totally serious. I'm sorry I'm such of a girl. I'm sorry you're one of your good friends at work
What
is a
he's
girl.
doing is he's trying to reset his
yeah,
brain.
reset the brain.
okay,
Like, what did that just happen?
Did she
did I
just
hallucinate?
say this?
Downshifting.
Yeah. There you go. Downshifting.
We're
That's
in
what
low gear now. What?
So I was just thinking about how funny it would be to have him here do this.
Yeah, that would be funny as hell.
He's so serious
Just all
about it.
serious. We're like, hey.
So Cheryl, you had a wet vagina for Walsh, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. I don't even care.
Stafford.
Yeah.
Baby face in a helmet.
Oh, hello.
He's all excited.
Right.
He looks like he's like 14 years old in his fucking helmet. It's just hilarious.
Okay.
Because when you see his helmet off, you're just like, yeah, you look like you should be milking cows.
Oh, cute.
Put his
that's
helmet on, he
kinda
looks like he's 14. He just looks like a child.
That's not child, but I'm like.
Oh, he
the
looks
farm
like a
boys.
child.
I like the farm boys.
Playing with a broken finger or something like that for the last few games. I mean, on his throwing hand on top of the guy, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah.
It's too bad he's been in a team that has just not been as successful.
Okay.
But he does a good job.
The quarterback that I can't stand just because they suck his dick like crazy. Like I didn't like what's his face?
Brett Favre.
Brett Favre. I didn't like Brett Favre
Yeah.
because the media just like totally they just
Sucked his
fell over
dick,
themselves.
yeah.
Is all I heard. Every time they talk about it, that's what I'm thinking, imagining. You know,
This is why we need to videotape this shit.
I don't like that when they do that. I don't think it's appropriate. I don't think it's fair. I think it's pretty stupid. They're just like hero worshiping people and touching themselves as they do it.
Right.
There's another quarterback now. His brother retired recently. What's the guy's name?
Eli Manning,
Yeah,
Manning.
The Mannings.
Which team is he on?
the New York Giants.
Which is our next.
That's
Well,
our
then I know what my
pick.
next. I just wanted to be clear.
Well, but look at the.
The other
What
cocksucker
are you gonna
quarterback.
choose?
Considering Favre isn't on there,
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Okay.
Aaron Rodgers.
I'm all right with Rodgers.
Rodgers is
I'm all
okay.
right. Yeah. Can't hate him. So anyway, let's go to that.
So
Segue.
it's Green Bay and New York Giants.
Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen's going for the pack.
I don't. Yeah, we'll pick.
I'm
Well,
going with the Giants because
logically.
being a Vikings fan, you have to just
Right.
not root for Green Bay.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not taking away from the fact Aaron Rodgers is a fantastic quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I think's going to go down on them.
Okay.
In their last game, 3 of their cornerbacks were injured. Their defense in their last game went to damn near nothing.
Giants or
No, Green Bay.
Packers.
Green
and
Bay
against
fell
Eli
apart.
Manning,
okay.
oh, you're screwed.
Okay.
He's going to be launching passes like you wouldn't believe
Oh,
down
Eric,
there.
a little bit of.
No, Eli, I hate Eli Manning, and I
Okay.
can't stand the Giants. But Green Bay, I don't see winning this game, just matching up wise.
Okay.
And honestly, I think that's why Detroit lost that last game. I think they played their cards out. You know what? We don't want to go play Eli because he's a good quarterback. That guy's been winning games in the end of the fourth quarter too. He's really
true.
good, and they can eliminate Green Bay.
Okay.
So you think they just fell down?
I think they fell down. Didn't make it look obvious, but I
Which
think
team was it?
that was Detroit. They were
Detroit,
playing Green Bay last to
No.
decide who was going to play the Giants and who was going to play Seattle.
Well, a cunning tactic like that, if I knew that was a tactic, I would have voted for him.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people don't look at it that way. It's like, well, they both teams were in the playoffs. It was just deciding who was going to play who, and I don't think Detroit matched up real well with the Giants. But the Giants move on. Dallas will beat the Giants, and then Detroit will take Dallas, and they'll have game tape to see what they're
right.
doing, so they might have a better chance.
I see the tactic here. All right, I will go for the Giants because I want them to get it defeated.
So going back down to the lower bracket, Atlanta and Detroit. Now this one I have a tough one with because I really want Detroit to go, but Atlanta, oh boy, they've been a tough team this year.
What is
that the
Atlanta?
Seahawks or what?
Falcons.
Oh, Seahawks, totally. Who's the Seahawks?
Seattle.
Seattle Seahawks. Okay.
So
never know.
and at the same
Falcon.
time, Atlanta in '98 took us out and went to play Denver and got their asses kicked because they
Okay.
shouldn't have been in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But that's when Gary Anderson missed that field goal, and we missed out.
Okay.
Way to go, Denny Green.
Nice. Hey. No,
I think I'm going to go
Denny
with,
Green. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Atlanta, I'd seen their helmets. I know they've been a big factor in the past. I don't know if they're still like that. Were these the fuckers that cheated? With the
Cheated.
deflated ball? Who was that? That was somebody in the
was-
East, right?
The accused person there was Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
See? That's what I'm telling you. I'm
Wasn't
going with
that,
Atlanta.
Wasn't that the other frickin' Eli's brother, Peyton?
Peyton Manning was
No.
in Denver.
He was
in
Denver,
Denver?
but he wasn't
He
the
retired
yeah.
from Denver.
Who was in the I thought one of them was in the Patriots.
No, neither
Oh,
one.
okay.
He retired from Denver. He was with the Colts.
That's right. Okay.
Horseshoe. Yep, on the helmet.
Yeah.
He stayed on the horse teams, went from the shoe to the horse.
Detroit all the
Oh, I didn't even
way.
think about that. That's crazy. He's riding the horse all along.
Nice.
So then to Dallas and the Giants, I don't know what the decision's going to be. Tony Romo is their franchise quarterback, but they had a rookie playing this whole year just kicking ass.
For Dallas. Okay.
And I saw something that looked like they were going to put Romo in for the playoffs, and I think that's a bad idea. You've had this rookie just kicking ass all year, and you're going to put this other guy in for some fucked up reason? Oh, that's just going to throw people off.
Wait, who's Romo for?
Dallas.
Romo's the quarterback for that?
He's their franchise quarterback, hasn't played since 2015.
So he's
they
like
put him in
AP.
with the series, their last game,
So they
that was
pay
meaningless.
him lots
a
of
lot
money and does nothing.
He hasn't done anything since November of 2015 until their last game for 1 or 2 series.
And didn't he
which
break
did
Jessica
fine.
Simpson's heart?
I don't know.
I think so. Yeah, that's Tony Romo.
Probably.
Yeah. So
But
it's
at the
kind of
same
like
time,
AP hasn't been done shit
Right.
all fucking year.
But at the same time, I don't like the Giants and I hate Dallas, so I don't care who wins this game.
you just hope they both lose.
I hope they
each
both
other.
lose.
So just put a big NA.
I'm going to put Dallas and hope that Giants just take out a lot of their players, so they're playing a bunch of backups.
Nice. I hope they all fucking destroy themselves.
A lot of broken necks out there and
Right.
holding their helmets on with braces and shit.
Yeah.
What did you pick, Cheryl?
Dallas.
For why?
I don't know.
I don't know. She's.
No idea.
Because they're in Texas.
Yeah, because I like Texas.
I like Texas too. I hate Tony Romo and I hate the Cowboys. I don't know why. I always have. Probably always will. I also hate Green Bay. That's pretty obvious, you know. But the one thing I have to say about Green Bay is they're the biggest, probably Midwestern team that we have.
Yeah,
that shows that we're
that's
just not
true.
all about ice and snow and, you know, fuck-tardedness up
Right.
here.
Right.
We actually
Yeah.
can make a difference because our Vikings fail every year. So.
Yeah. Right.
So
yeah, I noticed that we're not on the fucking playoffs.
And this is a dangerous play.
Shocker.
Like, if I was actually making, you know, things happen, if I was a genie or something and I made Green Bay win this, I know this is a dangerous choice, but I'm going to go with Green Bay.
all right.
I just dislike the Packers because I'm a Vikings fan, and it's a rivalry. That's what you have to do. But I don't
It's
take
halfway
anything.
fun, but
Right,
yeah,
it
you
is.
can't take away
It's
from
all in
them.
fun.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you cannot take away from that organization is a phenomenal organization.
Mm-hmm.
They
They're
get
huge.
players that want to play, work hard. That is a publicly owned team. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and now it makes me kind of like them, which makes me angry.
Nice.
Season ticket holders hold share in that
That's
team.
good. That's
That's awesome. I wish we were like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why their stadium, it's owned by season ticket holders. Really, that's who owns that stadium. It's
That Lambeau Field.
Yep, Lambeau Field,
Let me drive
named
your
after
daddy's Lambo.
you know
the
the
sorry.
trophy
Yep.
for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Lombardi Trophy,
Yeah.
named after the Lombardi coach of Green Bay Packers.
I love it. Yeah.
Always an awesome organization, and they produce some fantastic players. Can't
They-
take that away.
oh,
Brett
they
Favre
do.
Yeah,
was
they do.
great. You know,
That's
media.
probably why we hate them, is because they are so much better.
But they
that
do a
probably
good job.
does
Yeah.
have a lot to do with it. Is for how many years they're way better than us, and
Right.
maybe that's because of the public funding. So
Yeah.
Minnesota, take a hint.
Yeah.
And look at that. We won our first 5 games, went downhill from there. Green Bay.
Don't we
won-
always do? We do super great right off the start.
Didn't
yeah,
suck.
I'm a little fucking. I'm a racehorse. And then all of a sudden
Green
they
Bay-
lose steam.
Yeah.
Green Bay started off okay, went downhill, but they wanted it bad enough, and they just started going
There you
uphill.
go. That's what we need. Yep.
You
Well,
know,
just
that's
like-
just what they do.
Management.
That's what it takes.
It's management.
You
It's
bet.
coaching. It's you know,
And you know,
support.
people don't like the Patriots. Fantastic coaching staff, fantastic players. They get no names in there, and they do great jobs.
Yeah.
It's because of the expectation of the management. It's like,
It's
you
what
either
happens
work or
when you
get the
suck
hell out of here.
everybody's
Yeah.
dick before they go on the field.
How much
Yeah.
bullshit?
Yeah.
How much bullshit did you hear from Randy Moss when he was on the New England Patriots team?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Because of management.
That's
they won't
right.
allow
It's
it.
good.
Any other place else you went, showboat, fucked
Look at
off.
here. When he
Yeah.
was still here, he was
Yeah.
still a young punk, and all of a sudden he gets a little bit of attention, and he thinks he's hot shit. Fucking running over police officers and everything. What the fuck is that?
Goes there, not going to do it. And honestly, he's very intelligent. He's been doing commentary on ESPN.
Has he?
Oh yeah, very
He doesn't
smart.
sound like a
and-
thug anymore?
Oh no, gosh,
Do you
no.
remember what happened the first time we heard him speak?
It was just like, what the hell? was
Because
that?
you remember how much I was like, oh my God, I love this guy. This guy's amazing. He's awesome.
Yeah.
And then we heard him speak, and I look at Eric, I'm like, why does he have to sound like a thug?
Like a
So he's not
retard.
thuggish now.
No, he's very articulate and he's very knowledgeable. You can tell he's very intelligent. It's amazing. You wouldn't think that's the same person that played on the Minnesota Vikings
I
team.
will thank New England. Thank you for teaching him.
Yes.
Maybe we need to send all of our thugs to New England first and then rehire them.
Send Adrian Peterson over there. And
yeah, exactly.
Stop beating kids.
Will you fix him for us, please? Thank
Deontay
you.
should have gone there first.
Yeah.
And maybe it would have been better.
Yeah.
Okay, so our final pick for the NFC to go to the Super Bowl. I'm going to take Detroit. I hope they make it all the way. They'll get their asses handed to them by New England, but I think it might still be kind of a good game off the start.
I guess what I learned about Green Bay, I'm picking them.
Wow, Jenny.
I know. I think I've maybe changed a lot of my opinion today.
Yeah. Well, I'm going with Detroit just because I'm going with Detroit.
Going with Detroit.
Well,
I
it's
will-
like they're our rival, but they're our closest friendest rival. You know, we have to hate
Well, we're
Wisconsin because they're right next to us, but the neighbor right next door to them, we're okay with.
We're okay with.
You know, yeah.
all right.
There we go. I don't hate my neighbor, or I hate my neighbor, but I don't hate my neighbor's neighbor.
My neighbor's friend.
There you
right?
go.
Shit. I want to map that out for me to make sense.
Right.
So, I've got New England against Detroit in the Super Bowl.
What's your pick?
Detroit.
Hang on, Cheryl. I'm getting to you. This is the big reveal. What you going
I'm
with,
gonna,
Eric?
I'm going to take New England winning it.
New England. We got
Because
it
I
on.
think we got a fun surprise coming after that game.
Okay.
I think Tom Brady's going to retire, and maybe the coach will.
Oh,
Because we haven't heard anything about it.
Hmm?
And not that they're expected to. But Tom Brady's 38 or 39 years old.
once he retires, maybe I'll like their team again. Just saying.
Nice. Well, mine's
What do
no
you-
surprise. Detroit. I'm just gonna root for them all the way.
All the way.
Yeah, might
All
as
the way.
well.
For Grandpa or what? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
for
just
Grandpa.
do it.
Who are they going to beat?
Kansas.
Kansas City.
Kansas City.
Oh, that might be an
Yeah.
interesting
Yeah.
Super Bowl if that happens.
Small guys coming up from the little. I don't know.
So I'm guessing that just because Green Bay is who they are, and although I have a newfound appreciation for them, just out of this conversation here, I'm gonna go with Kansas City because I haven't seen the Chiefs, at least that I
Ever
can
win?
remember, win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They might have beat the Vikings a long time
They-
ago in
well-
the Super Bowl.
Well, it was
Maybe,
what was
yeah.
that? Fucking in the 80s? I mean, when I wasn't paying
No,
attention.
1954 or some shit.
That's what I'm saying. So
They might have never gone. I really don't remember. For some reason, they come to mind, but I don't remember.
I'm going with the long shot just because I hope someday the Vikings can fucking get there. Over
Right.
Green Bay, I know it's stupid, but I'm going to go Kansas City in the name of the underdog and our friend Travis.
There you go. Nice.
TNA.
That's right, we used to call him TNA.
No, we used to call Travis and Adam TNA
Oh,
Okay.
that's right.
because they were together so much like
But-
tits and ass.
But
Nice.
didn't people also call TA Travis
Yeah,
Anderson?
TA. They would
Tits
just
and
call him
ass.
TA.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, now I get it. Travis and Adam. TNA.
Well, you know what's exciting about this is
We win money.
We all have different teams.
you both have Kansas City in
no,
the
she
Super
is
Bowl,
Detroit. Oh, yeah, in the Super Bowl. Yep.
but different outcomes.
Mm-hmm.
And we may have some similar picks throughout, but it's changing, game after or something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that's fantastic. We may all be wrong. One of us might be right.
Right.
That's great.
Do we win money?
You get to continue breathing.
Right. You get $5 if they win.
You get a $5 debt.
Right.
You win $5.
Yeah.
You win a $5 bill to be paid
Right.
to everybody else.
Awesome. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
Well, it's
fun.
exciting. I'm glad you liked it. I don't know if you guys would care to do that or
Yeah.
not. So.
Oh, yeah, like activities.
Yes.
We could do more activities.
Right.
Activities. We can do all kinds of activities.
Podcasts.
There's some people I'm sure that are listening to this, especially our sports friends or whatever. They're
like,
just shaking their head
fucking
like,
seriously.
How could you
Why-
pick that? What the fuck are you
they're,
thinking?
they're
Right.
screaming at Eric going, why the fuck are you even giving them paperwork to do?
And you're an idiot for picking who you're picking.
Right.
So,
All right, well, yeah. I
well, that's our brief little Brendan Dassey or Avery
Brief-
case update, and did some
yeah.
2017 Super Bowl picks.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year, and
Thanks for listening.
appreciate your time, everybody. And shortly after this one, we're going to be talking about some Scientology stuff.
Yep.
So maybe we'll be lucky enough to get sued.
Nice. or get spied on.
Fucking
Yeah, that's right.
try it. I can
fine.
play that game as hard as you can, motherfuckers.
I don't want to like burst a bubble or anything or give away any secrets, but just to let anybody know, you start tailing me for something stupid, I have no problem punching you in the fucking face.
Yep.
And usually I'm armed.
Yeah.
Your life doesn't mean anything to me.
No.
I know I might go to jail for 18 months. Just watch yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not threatening anybody, by the way. I'm just saying I'm a little nuts.
Nice.
So we'll finish our song on the closeout here and pick you back up in the next round.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you much.